All right, hey everybody, me again, Mark Kelso here. Let's talk about Brazilian grooves. My love of Brazilian music came from when I was in high school, and a great percussion player, drummer set player, Memo Acevedo from Colombia, came to my high school and played these rhythms for me, and they were so fascinating and they sounded amazing that I instantly had a love affair with these rhythms and have been playing them ever since high school. So let me show you a few of the things that I've learned along the way about how to play them and what's important about the way they have to sound and, most importantly, feel. Starting with one of the more basic ones, the bossa nova. And bossa nova just means new thing, new style, new trend. It's kind of Brazilian slang, Portuguese slang. And it became popularized in Brazil in 1957 by great artists such as João Gilberto and Antonio Carlos Jobim, and then was popularized in North America with Stan Getz, great jazz saxophone player, in 1963 with the famous record Getz Gilberto. Now, when playing the bossa nova, we think it's such an easy beat, but it's deceptively simple, right? You have to watch, because there's a way to play it that makes it feel right. So what we start with is you're going to be using a cross-stick sound on the snare drum. Now, many students play the cross-stick this way, and the sound is very drastically different than playing it with what we say the butt end. So preferably, to get the nice sound of the click, you want to play with the butt end. And here's where many students make a very simple error, is that when they connect with the rim, they do this. And they stop it on the rim and it deadens it. The proper way to get a nice rim click is to actually hit it and come off, and you end up about a quarter inch above where the rim is. So listen, you get a dead sound or an open sound. Dead sound, open sound. You want that. There's nothing wrong with playing tip ends, but it's a different sound. It's a little bit thinner. A little thinner. So we want it to get the proper sound. That's what you're looking for to start with. Now, the rhythm that we play in the left hand is generally now referred to as the bossa nova clave. It's kind of not really correct, but it's just one of the ways that we now identify it, and it's a modern terminology. But originally, it was just the bossa rhythm. So how this rhythm lies is, and I'm going to be playing all these rhythms with a click track a little bit later, so you'll be able to see them and read them on the screen at the same time. So here's what it sounds like. I'll count you in 4/4. 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Just like that. That is your most common bossa nova cross-stick pattern. And if you recognize that, it sounds a little bit like, like Bo Diddley or some of the New Orleans rhythms. You are correct, but this one is mostly a Brazilian rhythm that is incorporated into a lot of the Brazilian rhythmic styles. So when you're playing the bossa nova, you want to have that nice rim click. The hi-hat, be careful when you're playing eighth notes on the hi-hat that you don't play too loud. Part of the secret of playing bossa nova is to play quietly and delicately, because it's a real subtle, light music, mostly guitar and piano and bass and a singer. So you want to play nice and soft. You don't want to be hammering out the hi-hat too loud, and you don't want to have an imbalance in the three limbs when you're playing these, okay? So here we got the hi-hat, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and simple, nice and light. Then what happens? Bass drum. Well, the bass drum is just going to be a simple pattern here, and as I said, you'll see it written, but it's more or less just the 1 and 2, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put it all together, you get 1, 2, 3, 4. beautiful, right? But again, you got to watch the balance. You want to think a little heavier on the bass drum, nice pop on the rim click, and nice and light on the hi-hat. You don't want it to be this. 3, 4. No, you don't want it to sound like that. It's in balance, nice and light on the hi-hat. And that is going to be a nice bossa nova. One of the other things that we want to get inside our head when we're thinking about this is think about, on beat 3, think heavy. So you think 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Because there's going to be a subtle accent in the music coming from the bass player in that style. So you think 1, 2, 3, You're not playing that, but you're thinking about that inside your head, and that will help you give you the proper flavor of the style. So now, if you're good with all that, let's do some demonstrations with the bossa nova, with the click track at 2 tempos. So check this out. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Now, one of the other things you can do is you can actually reverse the left hand and start with the second bar first. So instead of having what we will say the forward bossa clave, we can have a reverse bossa clave, and that sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can mix and match those and move them around within the music that you're playing. It really is only super important if you're actually playing with Brazilian musicians, because then the piano player and the guitar player would be playing a specific clave pattern depending on what song they were playing. So for now, you could probably get away with, if you're playing in your high school big band or with some friends, you could play it either or. It's just one option or the other to play the reverse or the forward bossa rhythm. Okay? Now, sometimes, you know, we think because it's simple, it's not fun to play. Don't think like that. Think that it's just a beautiful form of music. And if, like anything that we're going to talk about today, if you want to learn how to play Brazilian music, go to the source. Go to Brazilian records and recordings and listen to them and absorb the sound of the voice, of the melodies, absorb the sound of the feel. So for bossa nova, we would say check out Antonio Carlos Jobim, Rosa Passos, João Gilberto, Astrid Gilberto, all the classics, and have a listen to how beautiful that music is, and you'll realize the subtlety of the bossa nova is much deeper than just playing a simple rhythm. It's really a beautiful, beautiful sounding type of music. Now, because I've played a lot of bossa nova, I just want to show you real briefly, you don't actually have to always do it with sticks. I got a couple of other options here that I'd like to show you in terms of sound. One of the first things we'll do is sometimes you can play it with a brush and a stick. And it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what happens there is the brush functions kind of like a shaker. And that gives you a nice sound, a nice sweeping sound that creates a nice mellow vibe for playing the bossa. Now beyond that, what I like to do sometimes is take the brush and I pull it down like this, and then I tap it on the snare drum, and you get this kind of a sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm not even playing the left hand with the rim shot. I'm just playing the accent. Sometimes I'll turn the snares off, and I get this kind of a sound, and it kind of simulates what's known as a tambourine, which is a small, little small 6-inch drum that is played in a lot of Brazilian music, and you get this kind of a sound. Sounds nice, right? If you want, you can incorporate your hands and your fingers. 3, 4. You can use one of these rods made by headhunters. 3, 4. Play on the rim. You hear how delicately I am playing that? You can get some. These here are colliders. This is like little wooden dowels here. Again, pick up a couple of these. It gives you a different sound yet again. 3, 4. Nice, huh? So there is a bunch of variations on sound, and that's something to take into consideration when you're playing drums. It's nice to learn the rhythms, and it's really important to learn how they feel, but sometimes take a moment to experiment with sound, changing up from sticks to brushes to any of the other kind of things that are out there to play and hit drums with. You can use your hands. 3, 4. The point is to experience and create different tones and textures around the kit, because that will make you a more creative and inventive drummer and more musical, and people will probably want to play with you more because you play interesting things. Let's move on to samba.